Senior Connections, your weekly source for information, tips, and strategies on senior issues to help you age gracefully, with your host, Janet Halliday, and financial advisor and parent care expert, Dr. Kevin Skipper.
Good afternoon and welcome to Senior Connections, your source for events, news, tips, and strategies from retirement to parent care. I'm your host, Janet Halliday, and I am delighted today to introduce you to my new co-host, financial advisor, Dr. Kevin Skipper. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Janet. Glad to be with you. Looking forward to it.
And Kevin, for those who don't know, which I cannot believe, about you, tell us about yourself.
Well, I've been in Columbia for about 22 years and a financial advisor. We do investment, estate planning, do a radio talk show, have now for about 19 years. If you do it long enough, then you're a senior and you get to be on Senior Connections. So have done television for about 15 years, but real excited about being with you. And not just to share information, but seniors mean so much to me. When I grew up in a small church down in Conway, seniors were those who encouraged me. They believed in me. So a lot of who I am as a man today, I attribute to the seniors who are watching this program. So doing this program is kind of a way to give back to the community and share key information and insights. But enough about me. We got a great show lined up today.
And we are so fortunate Kevin is going to be part of our show. But as we grow older, we may want to talk to an attorney and need to talk to an attorney for essential legal documents like a living will or power of attorney, also estate planning. And what about those parents that aren't willing to work with you? What kind of help can you get them? Attorney Charles Black is going to be with us. He's an elder law attorney here in Columbia, and he'll be joining us.
Absolutely. A good segment that we're looking forward to. Also, some of you know how much it costs to go into a nursing home or assisted living facility. We're going to have a long-term care expert with us. Harry Crosby is going to join us in our program later on today.
And also in our financial insight segment, Kevin is going to be telling us about the ERD tax.
The ERD tax, the biggest tax you've never heard of. We'll talk about that today. Also, we've got our weekly giveaway, and I'm going to give away a 3-part DVD series on World War II. This is about the Battle of the Bulge. It's about D-Day, great information, and we'll take you out to dinner with a $25 gift certificate. We'll talk about that today, and stay with us at the end of the program and see if you're the winner.
So stay tuned, and Charles Black, the elder law attorney, will be back talking about essential legal documents for seniors.
You may have seen actors on TV talking about reverse mortgages. Well, I am not an actor. I am Larry Reed, and I live in the Midlands. For 7 years, I have been meeting face-to-face with older adults throughout the Carolinas and Georgia, supporting them to safely access their home equity with the federally insured reverse mortgage. So please call me. I'll help you understand the program, and then you can decide if a reverse mortgage is right for you.
I live alone and rarely have visitors. So when I slipped and fell in the kitchen last month and couldn't get to a phone, I knew I was in trouble.
Help!
I could barely move.
Help!
I tried calling for help, but no one could hear me. As I lay there, I couldn't help but think of my kids and grandkids having to go on without me. I was terrified. It took 8 hours for my neighbor to find me. It could have been the end of me. That's when I knew I needed Life Alert. With just one press of this button, I'm connected to the Life Alert Center, where I can get the help I need, even when I cannot reach a phone. With Life Alert, I'm never alone.
We save a life from a catastrophe every 11 minutes. For a free Life Alert brochure, call 800-485-5621. That's 800-485-5621. Call 800-485-5621 today.
Don't compromise, mobilize with All Medical.
Enhance your mobility and independence with a van from All Medical. Choose from a Dodge Caravan or a Honda Odyssey and customize it for your needs. Whether you're slightly ambulatory or in a wheelchair, you'll enjoy knowing you can get around town whenever you want. You depend on All Medical to provide services and products to fit your lifestyle. Now call on All Medical to take you that extra mile.
Don't compromise, mobilize with All Medical.
At Heartstrings Hospice, we are here to help. Each patient has a team dedicated to providing emotional, medical, and spiritual support.
At Heartstrings Hospice, we will ensure the time that you have together will allow you to be just her son and you to be just her daughter, because you shouldn't have to be anything else. At Heartstrings Hospice, we are here to help.
At Crescent Construction, we know your home is one of your most valuable assets.
We specialize in roofing and remodeling projects. Leaks, storm damage, and age are all signs you may need to repair or even replace your roof. We perform a 20-point certified roof inspection when most contractors do not. We can better identify issues that may result in further and more costly damage.
A roofing assessment is free, so call us at 781-1900.
We guarantee our team is professional, clean, and dedicated to your satisfaction. So call us today.
Are you or someone you love having difficulty getting into the tub for a bath or unable to stand in the shower? Call Comar Products today for help with safe, comfortable, independent bathing solutions. We specialize in products like walk-in tubs and roll-in showers. Our walk-in tubs feature hydrotherapy technology, so your bath is always warm and may even increase blood flow circulation and reduce swelling. Call Comar today to schedule your showroom appointment or visit us at 1759 Airport Boulevard in Casey.
Welcome back to Senior Connections. I'm Kevin Skipper.
And I'm Janet Halliday. Today we have attorney Charles Black, and he's going to be talking to us about essential legal documents for seniors. Kevin, why is that so important?
Well, I pulled up a sample will off the internet and realized that 50% of our viewers today probably do not have this document. And so we want to change that. We want to help them understand just how important it is to get your legal documents in place. And joining us is Charles Black. He's with Warner Payne & Black. And Charles, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kevin.
And so you use the term elder attorney. That's not your age. It's a qualification of the kind of attorney you are. But tell us what we mean when we say someone's an elder attorney.
Yeah, it really sort of focuses on the area of our practice, which tends to be senior adults. The way I sort of describe it to people is you have your traditional estate planner who does your wills and trusts and things like that. And that's certainly an important piece of what we do. But I tell people, more importantly, we're concerned about taking care of you while you're still with us. And that gets into powers of attorney, also trust that Janet mentioned earlier, living wills, those sorts of things, healthcare directives.
Medicare, Medicaid.
Medicaid, public benefits, nursing home placement, assisted living, helping people negotiate that maze.
So that's exactly what a lot of our viewers would need to talk to if you're looking for an attorney, someone who specializes in dealing with elder issues.
And we get a lot of the deer in the headlights looks from folks that are sort of confronted with this for the first time, never dealt with any of these topics. And so, yeah, there's a huge need for it. But a lot of people don't realize that there are attorneys out there that do focus their practice on this type of thing.
So, Charles, who usually gives you a call? Is it the parents or the seniors?
I would say that splits about 50-50. We have some parents out there who are proactive and doing advanced planning, understand the need to have some planning documents in place. Then I mentioned the deer in the headlights look. That's when somebody has wound up in the hospital. They're getting ready to be discharged to the nursing home for some rehab. Yeah, what do we do now? Yeah. And it's sort of that panicked feeling. We haven't done anything. What do we do now?
And the question I probably get most often at that point is, how do we get the assets out of mom and dad's name so mom and dad can qualify for Medicaid? And some people don't know timing is everything. And when the crisis comes, is it too late?
There are still some opportunities out there to do some planning, some last minute planning, but certainly the earlier you start, the more options you have, the better options you have. And so we do encourage people to start early, particularly since the federal statutes changed significantly in 2008 with respect to how you can move assets around, things like that. So the sooner you start looking at those issues, the better off you're going to be.
I tell families all the time, have an A plan, a B plan, and a C plan, because A is not probably going to work.
Oh, but because we're never going to get old, who wants to go to an elder attorney? We're going to get old, folks, and that's why you don't want to wait till the crisis, because that's the calls that I get as a financial advisor. It's too late, and they're trying to scramble, and so you really want to be proactive. Admit that we're getting older and come see an elder attorney to help you with this planning.
So tell us about some of the essential legal documents that a senior should have in place.
Well, typically for most people, and not just seniors, but most people out there need to have 3 documents really. A will, which Kevin's already mentioned, and a lot of people don't have. Even if you don't have a lot of assets, it's still good to have a will because it just makes the administration of the estate so much easier. Particularly if we've got to sell real estate or something like that, for instance, if we've got a will, that's going to give the personal representative or the executor the authority to do that. Another thing is a lot of folks don't realize that if you don't have a will here in South Carolina, half goes to the spouse, half goes to the children.
And that's a big surprise to a lot of people.
That is, a lot of folks would think it would be just the spouse, but it's half to the spouse, half to the children. So if you've got minor children, that can be an issue. Other 2 documents that we look at, particularly from my standpoint as an elder law attorney, is a durable power of attorney. Power of attorney is a document that gives somebody else the authority to act for you to help conduct your affairs. It doesn't keep you from doing anything, but it gives somebody else the authority to step in and help, and that's particularly the relevant document that we need if someone becomes incapacitated. We usually use a general power of attorney, which means it's very broad. Durable just means that the authority that we give that agent or that person that's going to act for you stays effective if and when you become incapacitated. And obviously that's when we need it the most. And then the third document is we typically do a separate health care power of attorney because South Carolina has a statutory form for that. And we find that even though our big general power of attorney does have health care language in it, it's a lot easier from a practical standpoint when you go to the doctor or the hospital if you've got that state form healthcare power of attorney. So those are the big 3. And there are trusts and other documents that we can throw in on top of that, but those are the 3 main documents that I would say just about everybody needs to have those.
Right, especially that healthcare piece that you were talking about, because most medical professionals don't want to weed through that durable.
Right, when they see that statutory form, that's the green light for them. They're thrilled that you've got that.
Right.
So what's the process? If someone calls you, they sit down in your office, kind of how do you work with clients?
We sit down and have a conversation, talk about what their goals and objectives are, who they would want handling things for them if something happened and they couldn't handle things for themselves, what sort of limitations we might want to put on that. For instance, we may have the spouse as the primary agent under a power of attorney. We may have 1 or more children as alternate agents. And sometimes if we've got the children acting, we may say, well, if you're paying a water bill or something like that, you can act individually. But if we're going to start moving assets around, then we're going to require you to act together. And so a lot of it comes into family dynamics and that sort of thing too.
So let's say it together. We're all getting older, okay? We need to go see an elder care attorney. Give Charles Black a call. His number is 799-0554. Charles, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
And speaking of getting older, one of the things that you may be concerned about is long-term care. Some of you know the cost of long-term care insurance. You've gone out and you've shopped for a policy, but you were denied. Is that the end of the story? Our next guest has some answers. You'll want to stay with us.
You'll want to stay right there because we have a long-term care specialist, Harry Crosby, and he's going to be talking about that long-term care. And Kevin's going to be telling us about that ERD tax. So
the ERD tax.
Stay with us.
Enhance your mobility and independence with a van from All Medical. Choose from a Dodge Caravan or a Honda Odyssey and customize it for your needs. Whether you're slightly ambulatory or in a wheelchair, you'll enjoy knowing you can get around town whenever you want. You depend on All Medical to provide services and products to fit your lifestyle. Now call on All Medical to take you that extra mile.
Don't compromise, mobilize with All Medical.
You know, choosing a financial advisor is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. You're seeking out a person or a firm that you will entrust your life savings with. I'm Dr. Kevin Skipper. I've been a financial consultant for over 20 years here in Columbia. Our firm is Discipline Financial Management. Here's some questions to ask an advisor. How long have you been in business and what are your credentials? What's your investment philosophy? What is your sales strategy? Let us answer these questions and many others. Give us a call at Discipline Financial Management.
I'm calling North Point. This does not work.
I can fix that.
I live alone, so when I slipped and fell in the kitchen last month and couldn't get to a phone, that's when I knew I needed Life Alert. With just one press of this button, I'm connected to the Life Alert Center, where I can get the help I need, even when I cannot reach a phone. With Life Alert, I'm never alone.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 800-485-5621. That's 800-485-5621. Call 800-485-5621 today.
As large corporations continue to take over local businesses, Carnegie and Mosley Funeral Home is still family-owned and independent. They believe that bigger doesn't mean better, and people always come before profits. That trust is earned, not bought. The Carnegie and Mosley family has been serving families since 1884. Carnegie and Mosley Funeral Home, they are your neighbors, and you'll appreciate the difference.
Thanks for joining us on Senior Connections. The question for you, Kevin, today is, how much does it cost to live in an assisted living?
Well, a lot of people out there believe that it's not going to happen to them. It's going to happen to somebody else. Well, my mom was in there for almost a year. We paid about $4,500 a month for her to stay in assisted living. When you start writing real checks and find out it's real money, it can happen to you. What are you going to do about it? Well, here's a problem. A lot of you have applied for long-term care and you were denied, you were turned down, and that's become more and more popular when it comes to dealing with long-term care. We've got a solution for you today. Harry Crosby and Will Crosby are a father-son team, not a husband, father-son team,
right.
and so Will's the president, right?
That's it.
Yeah. But Harry has been in long-term care business, I know, for over 20 years. He's the author of the book, Long-Term Care Insurance, got a great booklet about should I buy long-term care. Harry, you've been in this for 20 years. How has long-term care changed over that period of time?
It's changed radically, Kevin. You and I had talked about it a long time ago. Policies got better, much better. I actually have reached a point where they're, because of the cost and the number of claims that are going on, that they're actually not as good as they were a year ago, and it's harder to get them because the underwriting is tougher. You got to be healthier than you were before. So the decline ratio, about 30% of the people who are now applying for long-term care insurance are actually declined. And I'm not counting the ones that never applied because they knew they couldn't get the coverage. It's a problem.
Yeah, and Will, you haven't been in as long as Dad, but a lot of people don't know that Dad's a legend when it comes to long-term care. He's been one of the top producers in the country. How did you choose to come into the family business?
You know, Dad had this opportunity come along, and he talked to me about it, and I've called people personally and told them about some of the new product that we've got, people that have been turned down for long-term care, and it really surprised me how enthusiastic they were about hearing about it, and it's a good product, and that's pretty much, at that point I decided that it was a good thing to be with Dad here.
Now, how is this product different than a traditional long-term care product?
Well, it's very different. First off, it pays cash on diagnosis. Long-term care insurance pays when you get to the point where you need help with your activities of daily living, 2 of them. And that's the way it works. With this policy, it pays when you get diagnosed with specific diseases. And let me add that 70% of the diseases that cause long-term care insurance claims, this policy pays cash for it. So it's the second best thing to long-term care insurance, in my opinion. If you get a chance and you can get long-term care insurance, you should. But if you can't qualify, then this is really the second best alternative. And it's new. It was only available in September of 2012 here in South Carolina.
So, Will, if I sit down with you and you're going to take an application from me, okay? Kind of what are you asking me? A lot of questions? You're going to go get my medical records from my doctor? Walk me through how the process would work if I was going to get this program in place.
Well, it's a little bit different from long-term care. You're going to have a shorter underwriting process. They're going to ask you what kind of drugs you take. They're going to ask you 5 questions, basically. When we have the application, there's a 5-question list, and if you can answer no to all these 5 questions, the conditions that it asks about, then you can qualify for this product. There's 3 levels of plans. Plan A, most of the people that we see that don't qualify for long-term care can qualify for the best plan, which is Plan A. Once they ask you these questions, then they're going to ask you for your drugs, and they basically are just taking your drugs and double checking to make sure that you answered your questions correctly.
But the bottom line, there are 24 diseases listed. If you can say, no, I don't have MS, no, I don't have Alzheimer's, if you say no to those 24, the probability is you can get this coverage. Here's the thing that you need to know. 95% of the people who were declined for long-term care insurance qualify for this policy.
Wow.
That's what's important
And so
to know.
about how much does it pay then again? What was the...
As a matter of fact, the policy actually pays, the maximum plan you could choose with the critical care, that's the name of this product, is $3,000 as a base benefit, but it pays twice that much, Kevin, in a nursing home. And it pays $4,500, interesting that you happen to use that number. It also pays $4,500 in an assisted living facility.
Yeah, well, I was really good that you could come on and tell us about this, because having been in this industry for 20 years, I've seen many people decline. I've seen long-term care insurance premiums go up 50 to 90%. I see people who had good products looking to get out of them because they're concerned it's still going to go up in price. And so basically, in order to do this, someone would call you and then walk us through what would happen next.
That's right. Now, I'm not looking to replace long-term care insurance. That's if you've got even if you had an increase, it's hard to beat that. But if you, as an additional, I actually bought a policy myself, a small 6-month policy instead of a 24-month policy, to take care of that time before I might need help with my ADLs. Because a lot of people call me, they want to make a claim. I got 800, 900 personal customers, and they're not ready yet because they don't meet the criteria to receive benefits for long-term care. So I bought a small plan just to cover that interim period of time before I get to the point where I don't need help with 2 activities.
Well, a great, much-needed product in the marketplace. So Will and Harry, thanks for being with us today on Senior Connections.
Thank you.
And stay right there. We're going to come back, and Kevin's going to tell us about that earned tax, as well as we're going to give away a $25 gift certificate and a 3-set DVD of historical, what was that, Kevin?
Living Battlefields. It's a really good series. See if you're the winner when we come back on Senior Connections.
Woodash is having a mattress sale. Why pay thousands of dollars for a Visco memory foam mattress when you can get a complete 2-piece queen set at Woodash for $3.99? This quality mattress layered with Visco memory foam features a cool, comfortable quilted top for a comfortable, cool sleep every night. Highly resilient, highly durable, and best of all, at a discount price starting at just $3.99 for the 2-piece queen set. For the lowest discount prices featuring Visco memory foam mattresses starting at $3.99, shop Woodash today. Woodash, located in the heart of the Vista, 919 Gervais.
At Crescent Construction, we know your home is one of your most valuable assets.
We specialize in roofing and remodeling projects. Leaks, storm damage, and age are all signs you may need to repair or even replace your roof. We perform a 20-point certified roof inspection when most contractors do not. We can better identify issues that may result in further and more costly damage.
A roofing assessment is free, so call us at 781-1900.
We guarantee our team is professional, clean, and dedicated to your satisfaction. So call us today.
You know, choosing a financial advisor is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. You're seeking out a person or a firm that you will entrust your life savings with. I'm Dr. Kevin Skipper. I've been a financial consultant for over 20 years here in Columbia. Our firm is Discipline Financial Management. Here's some questions to ask an advisor. How long have you been in business, and what are your credentials? What's your investment philosophy? What is your sales strategy? Let us answer these questions and many others. Give us a call at Discipline Financial Management.
Attention, catheter patients on Medicare.
I use catheters, and if you do too, please listen carefully. There is a new catheter that hurts less, and you can get a free sample by calling this number now.
Pain and urinary tract infections have been avoided by many of my patients. These new disposable catheters hurt less. It's an incredible new design that reduces pain. The eyelets are polished, so they glide smoothly and effortlessly across your sensitive skin. Call now and get a free sample. Medicare and your insurance will pay for up to 200 of these catheters per month, all at little or no cost to you.
Call now for your free sample. It will arrive with a complete 90-day order, and if it doesn't reduce your pain, we'll pick them up for free.
Please call 1-800-394-8763. That's 1-800-394-8763. 1-800-394-8763. 394-8763.
Welcome back to Senior Connections. Do you have an IRA? What would happen to it if something happened to you or your wife? Kevin's going to tell us about this new tax, the ERD, and how it's going to impact you.
The ERD tax.
The ERD
Thanks
tax.
for giving me a new word from my vocabulary. Actually, IRD is the tax. It stands for income in respect of a decedent. And many of our viewers have heard of the estate tax, they've heard of property tax, they've heard of sales tax. But what is the IRD tax? Look at this chart here. If a husband has an IRA and a wife has an IRA, the IRD tax is the tax on the IRA. So if husband dies, it goes to wife, no tax issues. Wife dies, it goes to husband, no tax issues. But by simply not putting a contingent beneficiary on your IRA, if the money comes into the estate, then the taxes are due the year after death. For example, if you had $500,000 in your IRA, that's about $150,000 taxes due the year after death. The better way is called a stretch IRA, is to send it from the second person living to the children, set up an inherited IRA, and then the children can spread out the taxes on that. So everybody's got to pay the IRD tax, but it's whether it's due the year after death or whether you can stretch it over your lifetime. If you hadn't talked with your advisor about the IRD tax, you definitely want to.
Great information, Kevin. Yep, that's why we have
The
folks
ERD
like
tax.
you. The ERD tax.
Plan for it.
And now it's time for our weekly giveaway. Kevin?
I've got a 3 DVD series here of living battlefields. It is about World War II. And it has about the Battle of the Bulge, D-Day, a great, great gift for someone. And we've got a $25 gift card. So if you'd like to be a winner this week, call this number, 739-4205. We'll give our prize away to the 5th caller today. This is a gift that you'll want to have. Many veterans will love it. Many who love World War II like myself. I've watched it all and I hope myself someday to go to Normandy and see what our greatest generation did for our freedom.
And if you're thinking, you know the difference between a regular mortgage, but do you know the difference between a reverse mortgage? And who is it right for, and how can it help you with medical expenses and those unforeseen expenses that we're going to incur as we get older? Next week, we will have Larry Reed on talking about reverse mortgages.
And as Americans, one of the things we love to hate, taxes. And so we've hated it from the Boston Tea Party all the way back to the founding of our country. Next week, Stephen Kirkland, who's a CPA and an author of the book America's Best Tax Practices, will be our guest right here on Senior Connections. Hope you'll join us. I'm Kevin Skipper.
And I'm Janet Halliday. And if you have any questions, feedback, give us a call at this number, 803-739-4205, and we'll see you next week.
Senior Connections, your source for the news, tips, and information you need to grow old gracefully. Have a great week.